Hello everybody and welcome back. I'm Conquest and welcome to what promises to probably be the final episode of my Meiou and Taxes World Conquest. Thank you for joining me. On this episode, we will finish off the petty Chinese state that remains. We will annex Korea, we will yoink the rest of Japan, and we will explore and discover if there is anyone who has not yet heard the wonderful word of the imperial peace hiding in the Terra Incognita. Once we find them, of course, we will annex them up and be in pretty good shape to have finished our magnificent MUNDUM SATIS. Thank you for joining me for this episode. I will resume recording when something interesting happens. So long, Champagne. Look at that. Beautiful, clean European borders. It also improves our trade situation, because it means rather than having to send trade north straight here, I can send it via the French node into the Northwest Atlantic, which means we get a nice little bonus. Rather than sending this 125 directly into collection, I send it here, at which point it gets transferred on and gets that lovely 7.1% bonus. That's 7.1% more of 125 ducats. Not too shabby, if you ask me. Fantastic. Next up, we will be wrapping up these small nations here. And once we do that, the only independent nations on the Eurasian supercontinent will be either in Japan, China, Korea, or the tiny little chappies down here. And then, well, we've annexed one more person, which means I can now vassalize another person over here. So I suppose I'll vassalize the Creek, and then I will use them to eat up these neighboring people. We're spending a little bit of money on colonization right now, 757 ducats to be precise, because the final colony is having its cost increased by 25,600%. Just a normal amount to have it increased by, because we're currently running, I mean, how many colonies am I running? 18? That's quite a lot on 2 colonists. You know, we've got 2 here, 5 here, 3 here, 3 here, 2 here. No, sorry, it's 1 here now, actually. 1 here, 1 here, 1 on this little island. And I think I should... Oh, and there's 1 down here. I should probably stop setting up new colonies until at least a couple of these finish. And then I'll set up my my ones in this Guyanan, or however you say it. Guyana? I don't know. We'll be setting up a few on this spot anyway. Meanwhile, we transfer our annexation to Africa, still gaining 1 diplo point a month while we annex Africa. We'll do Africa, followed by Wallachia, followed by Crimea, followed by Montfric, followed by Mazarin, and I hope to be able to get all of those done before the end of the campaign. The thing is, at this point, I might end up annexing all nations of the world before I actually run out of vassals to annex, which would be interesting. But yes, proceeding on. I will... continue to put down rebels. We're taking lots of land that's not in trade companies, which means we're dealing with rebellion after rebellion after rebellion. But, you know, such is the life of a world conqueror. I can put up with it. So this is still happening. We're still getting massive plagues killing huge portions of the population. Plagues which begin in the New World, because the plague system is broken, which is unfortunate. On the bright side, however, we are successfully integrating much more land. Japan is about to completely fall under the imperial yoke. We're experiencing vast unrest. Unrest, which annoyingly enough might actually succeed in accomplishing their independence just because it takes so fucking long to walk around all these places. But, you know, we're trying. Truces are ending with many of these people, which means that basically everyone that isn't Zhao is about to fall under my control. And once I've done that, it'll be time to find this gentleman here properly. We need to, discover the sea zone so I can actually go and attack them. The reason I can see them is because they were in a war against me because they're allied to people. We need to find the Peloponnesian nations so we can wipe them out, and then it'll just be Zhao with our remaining final hurdle. I just want you to experience the levels of lag that I'm getting right now. I think this is because of the plague. Look at the date. Yeah. It's speed 4 right now. Oh, we made it a day. Hell yeah, brother. We got 1 more freaking day. All right. 19th. Come on now. Come on, I believe. We can hit 20th. 20th. Let's go. going insane. I think it's probably the plague that's causing this. But, hey, 23rd. Sorry, 21st. 23rd. But a distant dream. Oh, we're nearly there. We're nearly there. We're getting there. We're getting there. But my God, this is, Yep, 22nd. This is quite something right now. All right, and there we go. A couple more peace deals later. And we've managed to take over most of Mongolia and all the former Korean territories. We've also annexed all of Japan. That may not look like it's the case, but as you may recall, this one nation is bugged. They don't exist. I see their name. Their religion is no religion. Their stability is 0. They have no ideas, and they have no tech. And if I right-click on them, it just takes me to whoever I was looking at last, which in this case was this random little tribe out here neighboring one of my North American vassal states. So, what do I do? Well, I suppose what I do is I turn on... I'm still toggling the freaking AI for every month, by the way. Debug mode. Is I go into the save file and I change who owns province number 1018 and 1016 and see if that works. Because obviously I want to have this land owned, and it's obviously a bug that I don't own it, so I don't consider it cheating to just award it to myself. It costs me literally nothing to take land at this point. Like, it's not like we're coring any of this stuff. Although I have cored a whole bunch over here in the Middle East. We cored large sections of Persia and down here, which is still not having any unrest, which is nice. I am also, in a minute, when we get enough admin power, I'm going to take, first off, I'm going to take Diplotech 48, and then immediately, I think, anyway, immediately after that, take Diplotech 49. I think I'm going to take Diplotech 49 like 10 years ahead of time. I think I should be able to afford that as we save up a bunch of Monarch points up to that point. That's going to give us some more expansion capacity, which is going to make it all the easier to kill Zhao. Meanwhile, we're combating huge rebellion across this portion of our empire because, of course, this is the portion of the empire that is not in any of the trade company zones. Because for some reason, it is believed that trade companies could only exist near the coast, which is, of course, complete nonsense. Apart from anything else, one exists right here, internally in Africa. So I don't know why this whole region isn't trade companies. Really, you should be able to set up a trade company everywhere that isn't your home continent, in my view, but that's just my view. Our name has got janky. A minute ago, it was stretching nicely across here. Hopefully, we'll be able to see a nice font once again, but for now, I'm going to save and see if I can do some save jiggery pokery to give me province 106 and 108. Wish me luck. Praise be unto the Lord. It worked. It worked. Justice Fighter, Gigao, wonderful Meiou and Taxes, devs. Thank you so much. I received assistance and I edited the save file successfully. It took a while because my save file, I had to establish what kind of thing in the code I could Control F and search for, because my save file is 1,000,000 lines long. I'm not exaggerating. And I discovered part of the reason why, which is quite funny. So remember ages and ages ago, we changed the code on the decision that let you become an administrative monarchy? Yeah, I mucked that up. So, I thought I had changed the code so the AI would never take the decision to become an administrative monarchy. Instead, I made the code so the AI would always take the decision to become an administrative monarchy. But they couldn't. They couldn't become an administrative monarchy. What was happening was every single tag in the whole game for about the last 250 years was taking the become an administrative monarchy decision twice a month. And every single time that happened, it logged it in the save file, grew the save file, and when the save file is over a certain size, it starts to cause crashes. So a fairly large number of the crashes are all because I didn't want to become an absolute monarchy. So at least some of the crashes are entirely my fault, which I think is quite funny. But we're getting there. We're so close now. The last few bastions of independent nations outside of the Zhao collective are about to fall. We're already at war with 3 of them. This little island, one here, one here. Zhang Lang. I think once those three I'm currently at war with fall, Zhang Lang, or four, I think Zhang Lang becomes the only independent tag in the entire old world that isn't under either Zhao or under Zhao. So that's pretty good. And then our colonies are about to finish over here. And then I just need to do some exploring to find this chap and these chaps, which I think I said in like the last bit you've seen, but that was like 8 hours ago from my perspective, so excuse me. All right, I'm going to finish these guys off, and then we're going to begin exploring. I have the Mexican shipbuilders hard at work. They're producing some ships for me that we will use to explore up here. I like the idea that they're coming from Imperial Mexico. Imperial Mexico is essentially just organizing its own expedition to help further its future American colonial interests. Anyway, see you in the next one. I mean, not the next one. The next clip. Don't worry. The episode's not over yet. It's not over till we rule the freaking world. So, apparently the citizens of Liguria want their independence back. I'm gonna have to say nah to that one. They're revolutionaries! Fuck me. Excuse my language. We might be about to become a republic. Because I don't have any armies in Europe. Because I have no unrest in Europe. That's not true. It's a tiny bit in the Crimea up here. Yeah, it's a problem. I hate event-spawned revolutionaries. They are dumb. You should only have revolts if you have unrest. But my armies are going to take a while to arrive. So depending on how long it takes revolutionaries to enforce demands, we may not get back in time to prevent a revolution tick. So that's interesting. Let's train an army at home large enough to defeat the revolutionaries, I guess. They probably dislike the vast infrastructure projects I'm currently engaged in, is my guess. I mean, everyone hates infrastructure projects, right? My road networks are expanding. All of this area here that I just circled has roads building in it, and we're building canals in all of northern Italy. I had to spend the money somehow. Well, there's 80,000 of them, right? So how about I train 90,000 men in order to defeat them? That seems like an appropriate response. I like that they rose in the capital. It's very convenient. But there we go. We just train up some men, should be able to put them down. But that's a funny turn of events. So, if you're not aware, there is a mechanic in Meiou and Taxes where sieges can go faster based on the proportion, based on the amount the sieged province is outnumbered by the rebels. So we lost that siege in 43 days, despite having a 115% defensiveness in this province. 115%. It fell immediately. So that's interesting. Although the rebels don't appear to be on my list. So maybe they aren't going to be able to enforce demands? We're not in a revolution. Previously, when I had Imperial Revolutionaries, they were down here, and they showed up wanting to overthrow the government. But now they're not in the list? I'm highly confused. Yeah. I don't know why they're not in this list. Well, we will see if they suddenly cause us to become a republic. That would be interesting. I'll let you know. If not, this horde that I'm raising is going to destroy them. Well, I don't know why, but the revolutionaries didn't actually fire a rebel like pop-up or anything, so they can't enforce their demands, which means my newly raised army can now come in here and smash them up a bit. So that was easy. We have a 3 morale advantage for some reason, probably because revolutionaries have a modifier on their base morale. Can I see this? Technology. They're behind on technology? Or maybe they're just not getting my modifiers. Either way, the Imperial Revolutionaries are driven out of our capital city and destroyed. We get a couple of rebellions because it's a new month. And it's just how our months go right now. And there goes The Great Rebellion of Liguria. Mark it down in the history books. 1766 saw the beginning of the Great Battle of Liguria. Sorry, the Great Revolution of Liguria, which was swiftly crushed by imperial forces raised from the loyal members of the surrounding Italian and French countryside. And the rebellion was verily crushed. We are on rather low manpower, especially after having to raise all those men. So I'm very hopeful that soon I'll be able to demand manpower from one of the estates. Otherwise, we're going to be in a spot of bother. Should probably try to minimize attrition, honestly, if I'm going to be really concerned about manpower. So here, you guys pop out. Speaking of manpower, can I disband men and get my... Yeah, you regain manpower when disbanding, but only when you're below your cap. So I won't actually regain any manpower if I disband these guys. What I could do is slacken standards and lose 4,000 manpower, so that'd be fun. I guess what I have to do in order to fix the manpower problem is core some land, which is a pain. But we would get a lot of manpower from coring the land that we have in states over here. Because the minimum autonomy is 50. It's probably actually more like 5 autonomy under this this half core. So I think... Yes, we're going to delay getting this idea group because that isn't going to be that helpful anyway. I'm going to activate, finally, Sanctum Romanum Imperium to give myself 10% cheaper core creation costs. And then we're going to core some land. So how cheap is this right now? 99, which I think is the lowest possible cost. 10 per development. I'm pretty sure you can't spend less than 10 per development in MEIOU and Taxes, so maybe that mission actually is going to do entirely nothing, but oh well. So let's just go ahead and core up our states. See if we can afford all our European states. Probably not by the looks of it. Down to 500 admin power already. London cord. Get up here, cord. I mean, we're getting there. That might be all our European states. Nice. Just a little bit down here, which we can afford some of. There we go. We got Jerusalem cord right at the end there. That seems fine. Jerusalem doesn't really have much going for it right now in terms of being a city. Sure, have another thing. We are in debt right now because an advisor died. But there we go. Now we have much, much lower autonomy in lots of these provinces. Seville is still surprisingly high. Why is this? Right, because the burghers have lots of expansions of all that stuff. Plus, it's getting its communication efficiency applying 4 times. That's bizarre. Or maybe it's not. Maybe that's just how communication efficiency shows up in the list. Anyway, still, that's a lot more manpower. We might be below the cap. Let's see on the monthly tick. Do. Sock it to me. Are we going to get above the manpower cap by chance? Pretty please. Probably not, but a man can dream. We did just get a lot more land directly under our control. I wonder if that will annoy the estates. It probably will. Because obviously every time the estates lose wealth, be that because of whatever reason, in this case, us essentially taking control of another 50%. Hey, we are now above the manpower cap. We now have 30,000 manpower cap, which means if we now slacken standards, we get only minus 446, because for some reason the game still thinks I'm below the manpower cap. That's bizarre. Anyway, I will see you next time something happens, which is likely to be either the next war with Zhao, which is obviously a long way away, or something funky going on in the New World. I guess we can set off that expedition now. Yeah. Okay, new leader. Get me an explorer. Friedrich Christian Becker is going to be our explorer. On some sieges. Up here, we're just yoinking some land up here. By the way, our loot pool, we've been at war for like 100 years without cease. Our loot pool is getting quite fun. We're up to 140,000 now. No, 137,100 odd. I love sirens. Anyway, we're getting... So we have 140,000 cash in loot, which is frankly impressive. All right, go explore the North Pacific. We must discover the last unknown reaches of the world. Must be unveiled before our great imperial armies can subdue them. Yay, just as I hit 0. Manpower. Thank you, estates, for my 1 million manpower just from the greater nobles, and we'll be getting some from the lessers soon. Nice. Alright, that should sort us for the rest of the campaign. Excellent news. So, I took the next level of admin tech, as one tends to do, and I don't think I want another idea group. I mean, we've filled out logistic ideas now, so we could start doing another military one. But I guess dogs of war, so we loot slightly more and therefore end up with slightly less overextension. So I guess we take mercenary ideas. That seems fine. I mean, it's not helpful in like any other regard. We could also take standing army for the attrition. Or... I mean, nothing else is very useful at all, really. We obviously can't take a diplomatic or an administrative idea, because all our administrative or diplomatic points are earmarked for either coring or integrating vassals 100%. Except for obviously getting admin tech to keep up to date on admin efficiency. So I think it's going to be mercenary ideas just for dogs of war. 10% looting amount is no joke. What is our current looting amount? Can I see that? Is that just under looting amount? Yeah, looting amount is currently plus 38%. We could tank our professionalism to raise it as well. But I don't know, the movement speed for professionalism is nice. Because we're just moving around. As you might be able to tell from my voice, you know, it's, it's taxing. All we're doing is walking around killing rebels. Just 100% rebel killing simulator right now. And so the faster we can move around to accomplish that, the better. So I suppose that is what I will do. I'm aware that that just put me over the limit. Not naval ideas. Mercenary ideas. Good. Okay, that sounds good. Ah, the noble Johann has passed away. No, the noble Johann is a new guy. What was the previous guy's name? I think it was something cool. Like, wasn't he a... He had some kind of good Roman name, wasn't he? Wasn't he like Justinian or something? Anyway, Johann II Visconti takes up the throne. A 5-4-6. A damn good ruler with not exactly the points where we want them. I'd rather he had a 3 to give me the 2 and the 1 here, but still pretty good. We do have rebels close to enforcing demands. We will, of course, have a massive celebration to diminish any possibility of having a stability loss, which is going to cost us 18,000 ducats, but that's just the way it goes. We could immediately appropriate church property. Sounds good. Let's do that. We have rebels that are close to enforcing demands. Right, I'm on that case, on the case on that. So, we have disloyal subjects because I'm no longer married to Africa. That's okay. We can immediately fix that, and they'll say yes because they won't recalculate their attitude till the end of the month. We can also placate local rulers just to make sure we have the situation down. So I wanted to show you something. It's becoming rather comical. This is the Great Powers list. Us makes sense. Zhao, I mean, fair enough. They're still not tiny. Next up, Tang with 38 development. Then Pawnee. Freaking Pawnee with 11. Shawnee with 11. Papal State with 6. Hawaii with 10. And Lanap with 6. If we look at countries and we search by development, there's Zhao. Obviously, we own all these. We own these. We own these. We own these. There's Jin. Jin. I mean, there are some other larger ones out there, but obviously they're all vassals. When we get down to the really small ones, we can see that Lanap is currently number 8 on the list, right? That means they're the 8th largest independent nation, which means there are only 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There are only 13 independent nations left in the world, which is pretty insane. But we're getting there. Font looking pretty cool right now. Going around the Arabian, Indian, and this is still Indian Ocean, isn't it? Yeah. But yeah, looking pretty cool. Meanwhile, we're just, you know, dealing with rebels, as is life. It's looking relatively stable right now. Parts of this area have begun to convert to Catholicism. We've got a very, very Catholic India right now. Most of these provinces, the oppressed minorities, there's only 30% of the population in this random province, for example, is not Catholic. In Delhi, we are looking at Delhi is 70% Catholic. We have been doing good work converting the world to the one true faith. Indeed. The coast of North Africa is now almost entirely Catholic. The inland, less civilized areas, though, of course, Fez, Marrakesh, both very civilized areas of Morocco by comparison, but still, some of the more hard-to-reach regions still not embracing Catholicism, but many areas very much so, and we have begun our wonderful proselytizing in China, which has begun to bear fruit. Japan is slowly embracing the cross. Generally all going fairly well. It's just the matter of boring rebel suppression while we wait for Zhao truce, basically, is the only limiting factor. We're making our way towards that next tech, which will, of course, I want to try and get before we finish integrating Africa, so we can make use of this expansion capacity, which does apply retroactively to the amount of progress you've made towards integrating a subject, which is always good. All right, I'm going to keep squishing these rebels. Hey, we did it. Our patrol ships exploring the Pacific have found Hawaii. Excuse me. This area is an amalgamated territory, unable to be represented with the current mechanics, which means I can't conquer them. Excuse me? Excuse me? Devs, why would you include this in your game if they're not covered by the mechanics yet? Just make them a normal country or make them not exist. Is there a decision to conquer them? Not that I can see. Excuse me? There's no way to conquer Hawaii. Well, excuse me a moment while I engage in a large-scale military operation to Hawaii. Oh, look at that. It was very successful. We conquered Hawaii. Why would you include a tag that can't be interacted with? What's the point? Why, I don't get it. Anyway, in my head, we sent an army and they conquered Hawaii. And to make it cost something, in the process, most of the army and the ships were destroyed. There you go. Now it cost me some manpower, which we would have had to spend in sieging it down. We're not going to core it, so we don't need to make it spend that, and it wouldn't have cost us Diplo points because we have the Imperialism CB. So there we go. Hawaii conquered with at least the minimum level of cheating. I've just made an interesting discovery. Tahiti exists. Where's Tahiti again? I'm guessing it's somewhere in here. So we're going to have to do some exploring to find and kill Tahiti. I have removed this small island nation from the map up here. It's been added to my domain. There are only 3 independent tags now in North America. The Cree, the Pawnee, and the Huani. The Cree are going to be annexed very soon because we have a colonist arriving here, which means I'll be able to annex this and then just abandon the colony. I did similar things to be able to annex some of these inland people. We used to have a colony right here, and we used to have one. Oh, we still have one here, yeah. So I set up colonies, conquered the lands next to them, and then abandoned the colonies, which is exactly what I'm going to do. Up here with the Cree, and then the Pawnee, I'm hoping to colonize here, here, here. I'm not sure if that's going to work. We may have to go here, 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 which would be a bit annoying because of this C-zone situation. You can only cross down here, apparently. But either would work to kill the Pawnee. I think we've got time left in the campaign to colonize 4 provinces. If not, of course, we can always just vassalize them. The reason I don't want to make more vassals right now is, of course, it will start hitting my Diplo point production. And I want to use the Diplo point production to clean up European borders, get Wallachia and Crimea annexed. But if we actually get the whole world conquered before we annex these vassals, what I will do is I will call it a win on the world conquest front and then use the Conquest to annex these guys to make some nice borders, just so we can have something pretty to look at, basically. Obviously, I'd rather do it the legitimate way, but, you know, just for the sake of looking at the nice borders that we would be able to accomplish if I was prepared to just sit here for another 50 years or whatever. Because I think we're going to finish by 1800 in all likelihood. Either way, 3 years till the Zhao truce. Looking forward to it. And yeah, we've got to find Tahiti, so I'll get on that. Okay, and there's our innovativeness. We are going to buy it 60% ahead of time. because it's going to very much expedite our integrations. It also enables Revolutionary Republic. That's a little concerning. So that should modify this number. Yep, that's gone down a bit. Nice. Okie doke. Well, that's good. That's more administrative efficiency. It's more integration. That's cheaper vassal annexation. That's cheaper war score cost on provinces. Marvelous. We are going to have to take out another loan because our artist just died, which means we need to find a new man. Looks like monthly unrest is the best we're going to get. So I'll buy him and give him a quick promote. Very, very expensive to do that, but oh well. We're also ahead of time on military tech now, so next I guess I will take this Dogs of War thing. In the meantime, it is only 2 years before our war with Zhao can kick off. They are fighting wars with their subjects, basically one by one. That's been happening quite a bit. Mostly the subjects get retained, but this one might make its independence because, of course, it's so separate from the rest, but we'll see. We shall see. It's really a 3-step process. Truce ends with Zhao. War begins with Zhao. And peace deal. A whole lot of very short sieges later. Yoink. Boom. All mine. There we go. Fantastic. Bringing Zhao to a 1-war annexation. Oh my goodness me. The end draws nigh. There are now only 6 independent nations in the world. The war with these guys dragged on, so I annexed them while we were at war with Zhao. And another one, same story, down here. There we go. 1 more war with Zhao. In the meantime, of course, we're going to need to vassalize a bunch of people over here. The annexation of the Kingdom of Africa is coming to an end, so I've switched to annexing Wallachia as well. But yeah, there are officially 6 wars it's necessary for us to complete to win this campaign. Because if we full annex now, we get all their subjects. And we'll get them as, like, military commissions, which I have no idea what that means. But realistically, what we'd want to do is wait 15 years and then just revoke, just set them free, basically. But yeah, we can end this campaign in probably like July 1792. Not bad, huh? Not bad at all. I'm quite tired, so I think I'm gonna go to bed now. But tomorrow will be the day when I will end this campaign. I will achieve my global conquest. For you, that will be in mere moments, but we're getting there. We're getting so close. Oh, hell yeah. We integrated the Kingdom of Africa. Check out that font. Looking the best it has for hundreds of years. Very nice. We're still just killing time while waiting for the next Zhao truce. But yeah, look at that. Look at that. That looks glorious. Meanwhile, I think we found Tahiti. Not quite. We're getting there, though. I've got a ship exploring all these islands, and I have an inkling that we're about to find it. So I guess that's where Tahiti is. Awesome. But yeah, I just had to share that. Boom. Looking very nice. Well, it looks like... We're all with Tahiti, by the way. It looks like Zhao is finally getting their comeuppance. I don't know why, because I thought their subjects couldn't band together, but I'm not questioning it. Looks like Zhao's subjects have, well, all but one, have decided to wait in a bunch of separate wars. The heck? Okay. Well, Zhao is currently defending against, like, 3 different independence wars. I guess, I don't know, it must be like a critical point of amount of land owned in China, or maybe it was a coincidence. Maybe they all declared, oh, I know what it probably was. Yeah, so previously they were declaring one by one, right, to try and declare independence, and then because the war was ongoing, it just, like, locked them in under Zhao, because they were all going against one of them that was trying to get independence. But I've been toggling the AI on and off every month, so I bet they all declared when I turned the AI back on the same day, because that's when I turned the AI on, and therefore they were all able to declare war because they were all doing it simultaneously and weren't getting locked out by each other's wars. That's my bet. This is very good news. It's going to make it much easier to kill Zhao if all these people become independent. So, whoopee. Nice. That's what I call a convenient native converts placement. So we're colonizing here, which means we have a chance to get an event that a neighboring province converts to Christianity and just wants to join you, which has just happened to this one, which means now we border the Shawnee, which means we're going to be able to conquer them. Excellent. I'm still going to try and colonize next to the Iroquois, and then I'll just free them and conquer them, just to free up a Diplo slot. And then all we have left... Do we need to vassalize? Is it just Shawnee, Pawnee? Is that it? Because Cree's died. We annexed Cree, and I then abandoned the place next to it. Yeah, I think it's just Shawnee, Pawnee. Okay, so now we just need one of our subjects to colonize one of these provinces. And then we have connection to everything in North America. Hell yeah. Right. Oh, right, yeah, of course. I was thinking, but there's only 7. No, because of all these guys are currently still in their war with Zhao. Right, makes sense. All right, it's 5 years till my truce with the with the Zhao is up. And yeah, there's massive ravaging freaking disaster all over Europe because the game is broken. And this time it wasn't my fault. We've had, in the last 20 years, we've had 6 New World plagues that have ravaged their way across our freaking country. Each of them has killed more people than any plague in the history of mankind. So that's been fun. Anyway, hey, Papal States, I'm afraid our alliance is done, because that gives us a 5-year truce, which syncs up nicely with Zhao. And obviously that's when we're going to have to kill them. We're also gaining some war exhaustion right now. But I really don't want to go to peace. So there's not a huge amount I can do about that, really. I want to go to peace at the very end. It feels, symbolic and appropriate. Anyway, so we've got, 5-year truce with them. Zhao has their truce until the same month. And we can declare those wars simultaneously, annexing the last 2 bodies. And obviously all the other people have the same truce with us. We can annex all of them. It should work. I think we're going to be able to take Zhao and their puppet in one war. They're only at 71 now because Song and Jin took some land from them. And then we will be done. We will have accomplished the impossible. MUNDUM SATIS. Awesome. I wanted to show you this as a demonstration of just how developed Italy is right now. So this is how meritocracy has spread through the world, right? Obviously it spread lots near here, but then we built those little relay stations intentionally to help it spread throughout India, and one down here, and obviously it's spreading in Egypt and things. But look at my core territory. Look at this. That's pretty good, you have to admit. How much would it cost for us to adopt meritocracy? I don't know where the game sound's gone, by the way. It's not having a fun time. 22,000 ducats. I'm going to save up and embrace meritocracy because that's not very many months of income away, and it will help me get my admin tech 51, which I'm pretty certain I'm not going to get before the end of the campaign, but still. So I think that's pretty cool. The development in this region it's very high. If we look at our road networks, I've been working on those. This area is all under construction, as is this section down here. I've basically filled Italy with the highest level roads that we currently have available. And I've also built a little extension to the German road, which connects it to Prague and Berlin, both of which are being built up as local cities. I've also added a local administrative center to Prague, and one to Barcelona, and one to Seville. And I also added one roads that is down here to help communication efficiency, because communication efficiency doesn't go through the Suez Canal. You have to travel it across. You have to kind of carry it across the land. So I'm building big roads and big ports to help our communications to the east, which means that we've managed to get communication down here in 65 days, which is not bad. Here to here in 65 days. That's pretty impressive, though I say so myself. If we look at our autonomy map mode, we're doing very nicely. Obviously, we're maxed out in our colonial regions. I'm working on a big road across here right now to try and help out a little bit in that region. But look at that core region autonomy. It's fantastic. And as we unlock more states, we could bring almost all of Iberia down to at least like 15% autonomy. And Germany and France is being crushed down by our vast imperial roads. Once we stopped integrating vassals and went up to Diplotech 50, we would also be able to build the even higher level roads, which of course would replace lots of the existing ones we have. But yeah, must say I'm quite pleased with this autonomy map mode. All right, there we go. Saved up enough money. 15% off advisor costs. Heck yeah. Plus our tech gets all kinds of cheaper. Nice. Which means we're going to be able to take this. Still probably going to conquer the world before we manage to take the one after self-proclaimed monarchy that would give us the extra 5% expansion capacity. But hey, still nice. Thus ends our final truces. Thus begins the final war this world will ever know. Zhao and their remaining 2 independent vassals will be struck down. The disloyal military protectorates and with their newfound independence shall be destroyed and absorbed into the Imperial Chinese Company. The world will be unified beneath my feet. And, as almost a footnote, the Papal States will accept that it has no place being independent in the glorious new world that is being created and will be subsumed into the Empire. Glorious. One more war. One more war. There it is. The final siege, which leads to the final peace deal. The final partition of Zhao. Now all that remains is we turn our attention to the holy city. Rome must be Holy Roman. And so we will march on the Basilica. The Papal State will recognize our nationalist right to Rome. I really like this shot. The fires of imperial industry burn through Italy as we raise a new army to bring low the papal forces. Doesn't that look so cool? Anyway, I think it looks awesome. It is done. It is finished. The siege of Rome is won. The peace deal is sent. The world is mine. Do it. Look at it. The imperial papal nationalist war has come to its final conclusion. We demand their full annexation. There are no independent tags in the world. We rule everything. Crimea and Wallachia have recently finished their integrations. Our remaining vassals would slowly be integrated over the next 30 or so years. It is a great day. Today marks the end of war. In 4 days, we'll fix some border gore up here, so let's unpause there. This is the first time the Empire has stood at peace in over 100 years. In those 100 years, the masses of wealth that were accumulated from our enemies' lands have been stored, have been stockpiled, and finally it is time for the spoils of war to return home. The Emperor, the Pope newly bowing before him, is crowned a second time in the massive urban sprawl of Liguria. The wonderfully developed Italy hosts a huge number of dignitaries from across the world to see his final and most wonderful address. Down the paved streets of the capital city come carts carrying vast quantities of wealth, the bounty from the sacked cities and villages of our enemies totaling 145,000 ducats. This massive quantity of money, only 1/10 need go to the treasury, the rest dispersed to our noble warriors around the world. Finally, the Emperor speaks. It is done. It is finished. I am the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. To my right side stands the Imperial army, indomitable. And to my left side stands the one true God. Before me kneels the world. I have united this earth. I have brought together the disparate factions that seek to divide mankind. We are now one. We will move into a new era of prosperity, peace, and unification. Who knows what we can achieve from here, what new heights our species will reach under my noble guidance. It is done. It is finished, and I can rest. From here, in about 10 years, the annexation of Mazaran would be complete. And then, approximately 15 years after that, Iraq would follow. At this point, the Holy Roman Empire stretches from sea to shining sea, with only a few native tribes remaining independent, and Castile relegated to a colonizer of the New World for us, our tasks delegated to them. The great powers of the world currently still includes... Oh, I better turn the AI off, or it could crash. The great powers of the world now consist, as they should, of only us. We have done it. We have done it. From here, global infrastructure projects would take place, expanding the already massive Imperial Road. Let's take a look at the vast infrastructure projects that we have thus far completed. Phenomenal works that brought together our great empire. It freaking crashed. I don't believe it. I'll be back. Alright, we're back. Alright, let's take a look at the massive infrastructure projects that made this possible. Hell yes. Okay, so buildings. Look at this road network. It's amazing. It's beautiful. All of Italy, more or less, is now completely covered in these huge high-level roads. The Trans-Iberian Highway is completed, as well as the main French road, the Low Road, and the German road with its offshoots completed. The capital city boasts the largest port possible to build, and there is a network of them going all the way around the world. We can get a message from the capital to Cairo in just 30 days, and the autonomy of these regions reflects it. We have united the world beneath us. Oh yes, that is what I'm talking about. Great powers of the world, just us. All institutions embraced, all enemies defeated. Absolute mad income, which has just declined, of course, because I just took on all these armies and things, but still, mad income. My goodness gracious me. The trade map mode is a little anarchic right now, but as you can see, we are collecting 1,370 ducats here, 180 here, 250 here, 336 here. A truly outrageous quantity of money. Thank you for watching this campaign. I hope you enjoyed it. It took, you know what? Give me a second. How long was this campaign? Let me check. It's been a while. Count Christo Mundum Satis, episode 1. It was 10 months. This campaign took 10 months. Now, I don't think I've told you how long it's took me in real time yet. This campaign took me over 220 hours. It was a bit of an odyssey. There were ups and downs. I have to thank the Meiou and Taxes dev team, who gave me fantastic tips. Let's have the celebration bit again. Roll the clapping. Who gave me great tips. Gig Hour especially gave me fantastic advice and actually modded the game so it would stop crashing for me and fixed lots of various things. Obviously, we cheated to annex these two nations, but it's just to avoid me having to sit here watching the clock for the next 25 years. I'm sure you understand that we could have done that without cheating well within the time limit. So, you know, we just want to see the font, right? But yeah, thanks for sticking it out for, what is it? 21 episodes, I think. It's been a great pleasure. Let's check out some other map modes. We've got the culture, accepted cultures map mode. We managed to spread our culture quite far. Lombard has spread nicely. Various parts of southern Italy are converting to other of our accepted cultures as well. The final states of the Holy Roman Empire are as follows. I went up the French road with states as well. As you can see, is beginning to be represented in autonomy. Religion-wise, very nearly almost all of mainland Europe, or very nearly all of mainland Europe is Catholic. There is a Orthodox holdout. All of India is Catholic, which I think is pretty impressive. And give it another probably 35 years, and we would see a one-world religion. The whole world is going to be Catholic. Obviously, the uncolonized provinces would need colonizing. And the Americas are firmly under our grip. We have 49 merchants, which is not the most you can have by any stretch of the imagination. You can get a lot more than that, but we'll probably be having some fun with that in our next MUNDUM, not our next MUNDUM SATIS, but our next Meiou and Taxes campaign. I will be following this one with another campaign, but I'm not sure when. Possibly immediately, but we'll see. Coring-wise, I finished coring all of India and huge swathes of the Middle East. Over the next, set of years, we would be continuing our path, slowly bringing troops home from the military occupations of these lands as we properly integrate them into the administration of the Holy Roman Empire. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for all your comments and support on this series. I know people have enjoyed it. It's been a heck of a ride, but there, it is done. GUI. It is finished. Look at it. It's glorious. Screenshots galore. Oh, baby. That took a while. Oh. Thank you for watching, everybody. It's been a great pleasure. I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.